Hello dear friends, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Listen For You. Friends, you know that we are discussing about the structure of the human tissues, right? So this was our previous lecture regarding the structure of basement membrane, or we call it basal lamina, right? As you know, we are discussing about the epithelial tissues. So in the first lecture about the epithelial tissue, we have discussed about the introduction, what is epithelial tissue. Then we did the classification of epithelial tissues, and then we showed all the locations of the epithelial tissue, in which areas of the body which type of epithelial tissue is found, right? And in the last lecture about the epithelial tissue, we discussed about the basal lamina, or we call it basement membrane, and this was about the composition of the basement membrane, right? Now here in this lecture, you know that I had told you that if these are the epithelial tissues, right, if these two are the epithelial tissues, epithelial cells, now this one epithelial cell has one lateral side, one basal side and one apical side. Lateral side, either you can take this one, this one, this one, this one, right? So it doesn't matter, because here is also an epithelial cell, here is also another epithelial cell, right? So all these sides are the lateral sides of the epithelial cells. So we have discussed that what is in the base of this epithelial tissue, right? So which was this basal lamina. So you just consider that these two are the cells, right? And below these epithelial cells, everywhere in our body, wherever there is epithelial cells, right, there will be the basement membrane below it, right? Now we are going to discuss about the components which are present in the lateral sides of the epithelial cells. I mean here and here. What are the structures which hold these cells together tightly, right? So our right now our lecture will be based on the structures which are present on the lateral sides of the epithelial cells. Hello friends, welcome back. Let us see about the structures which are present on the lateral sides of the epithelial tissues. So I am writing here the lateral surface. Structures in the lateral surface of the epithelial tissues or epithelial cells, right? Let's go. Let me make here epithelial cells. First of all, from the lateral side we will draw the epithelial cells like this, right, in this manner, right? We will open and see what are the structures there. Other than that, let me make an epithelial cell here. You just consider that this is the lateral side of that epithelial tissue or epithelial cell. This is the lateral side, right? Okay, so this is the lateral side, or okay, we see that in the lateral side of the two adjacent epithelial cells. Let me make two adjacent epithelial cells here. This is one epithelial cell, right? Okay, and here we have another epithelial cell, right? Like this, right? So the two epithelial cells with their nuclei, these are the nuclei. Now we are going to study these lateral sides, right? Let me complete my diagram like this, right? So what we have did, we have opened the lateral sides, right? We have opened the lateral sides here, and we are going to see that what are the structures and what are the different chemical substances or proteins which are present there. So you consider please that this side, right, this lateral side I have shown here, right? This is the lateral side. So what are structures here which are found in the lateral sides of the epithelial tissue which hold the cells together, which tightly hold the cells? So let me make here sections, different sections. Friends, first of all, there are look carefully, first of all there are different areas in which different type of components are formed, right? This is called the tight junctional complex, right? This area contains all those proteins which hold the cells together, so let me make it here also like this, right? So we have shown that structure here in an enlarged manner, right friends? This is the first junction in between the two cells. If we close them together, they will hold the both of the cells together, right? So the first thing which is very important is called, this is called let me name it here friends, these junctions are called the tight junctional complexes, right? This tight junctional complex is present in this cell also here, and in that cell also there, and from both of the junctional complexes proteins arise from that cell and also from this one cell and hold both the cells together like this, right? So it means that if this is my one hand, this other hand, this epithelial tissues, so proteins from junctional complexes arise and they hold the cells tightly and firmly together, right? So let us name those proteins, right? So these junctional complexes are of two types, right? Let me write here, these junctional complexes are two. Number one is zona occluden, right? Number one is zona occluden, right? We will discuss about the proteins and other substances which are present in zona occluden, and the second zone is called zona adherens. Zona adherens. So there are two important zones, or there are two important junctional complexes found in the epithelial, in the lateral walls of the epithelial cells, like this, right? So this is the zona occluden, this is the zona adherens, and here also let me show you that zone like this, right friends? So we will see the proteins which are present in zona adherens, and we will see the proteins which are present in zona occluden, very simple. And then there are lots of windows here, right? These are special type of windows which contain different type of channel proteins, right? And these I will discuss also these like this, and they are present here. These are the zones, or these are the channels through which the cells interconnect between each other, and I will show you in another diagram also, right friends? And then there are certain macula adherent area which contains some different type of proteins. We will see them also. So macula adherent is present there in between the two cells. Let me make it also here. So you just put in your mind, first of all we will clear the easy things, then we will come to the difficult things. That's so simple, right friends? And if again I will draw here another cell, right? Let us complete our diagram like this. This is a cell again, right? Okay, and this is a cell, the two cells, right? Like this. Done. So these are the two cells and these are the lateral sides. So I told you that I have opened that lateral side and I have brought it here, and we will see all the proteins which are present there. So it will be like this. Right friends? Okay, and for the black one also, sorry, like this, right? So what is this? This is zona occludens, and this is zona adherens, and then there is the channels or the connecting proteins, right, which connect both the cells together and through which the cells exchange different substances with each other. And we will see also what are the structures here. Now if we join them together, right, if we join them together, they will make straight and strong connections between each other, right friends. So let us see about the proteins which are present here, right. First of all, we know that these are the cell membranes, right. For example, if this box, this is the cell membrane, and inside it there are cellular components, right. So this cell membrane, so from these cell membranes different proteins arise, right. From the cell membranes of here and here different proteins arise and they make connections. So what are those proteins? The first group of proteins are called zonular proteins, right. The first group of proteins are called zonular proteins. I will make a very simplified diagram. These are the zonular proteins, right. Here also, and from that cell also, and here again zonular proteins like this, right. And these zonule proteins are connected to other group of proteins. Zonule proteins are connected to some other group of proteins which are called occludens and occludens, right. These are the, look carefully, these are some proteins which are called the occludens, and from there, from that side, there are other group of proteins which are called occludens. So occludens and occludens, right, make here the connections. So they are like this, look carefully. My hand is zonule proteins and these are called occludens and occludens, and from that side also, so they make junction, very tight junction like this, right. So this is from one cell and this is from other cell, and they make very strong connections. So let us make that diagram here. For example, this is the zonule protein, right, and this is arising from the cell membrane, right friends, this is the cell membrane. So these are the zonule proteins, right, like this, and these zonule proteins contain some other group of proteins like this, right friends. This is from one side of the this is from one side cell, right, and from the other side of the cell, right, from other adjacent cell, again these are the, which proteins, I'm sorry, which proteins are these? These are the zonule proteins, right, and these are the, yes, you know what are these? These are the occludens and occludens like this. So they are making strong bonds with each other and they are not allowing the cells to go on other sides, right. So they are holding the cells very firmly, right friends. So some proteins are occludens and some proteins are occludens. So what are these proteins? First of all, these are called the zonule proteins. Zonulo proteins, right friends. These are called the occludens, and these are called the occludens, right. So in the first zona occludens, what proteins are present there which hold the cells together? These are the zonulo proteins, occludens and occludens. They make strong connections between these cells and they don't allow the cells to run away, and they have a very strong friendship with each other, right. So here are all these proteins found in the yes, in the zones, in this zona occludens, right. So first of all, these are the zonule proteins, right, and from the zonule proteins there arise the occludens and occludens, and they, from one side there are occludens and from other side there are occludens, and they make strong bonds like this, right. So they hold the cells together. So in the zona occludens, right friends, Which proteins are found? Number 1, yes, zonuloproteins, right? Then the second one is occludens, and the third one is occludens. These are the proteins which are found in the zona occludens, and they hold. So I told you there are two strong junctional complexes. So the first junctional complex was the zona occludens, right? Then let's come to the second zone, which is called zona adherens. Zona adherens. And the zona adherens